And there we go. Welcome, everybody, to a slightly different kind of show. If ever you've been interested in ghosts, myths, legends, history, the paranormal, all regressions, all that kind of stuff, you're in the right place. My name is Alan Robson. Next to me, we have Hollywood McShane at the top, our producer, cameraman, and all-round good egg. And below him, on the naughty step, we have Kenny D, who's had an incredible week of extra busy. You've been doing bonfire night celebrations and parties
everywhere, and Darlington Christmas lights switch on. I had 3 gigs on Sunday, so one after the other. But it's good. That's what you want this time of year. Make some money for Christmas.
Wish I had it. So anyway, we are looking today at something very, very different. We would love you to give us a call if you've got a story. If you've got a ghost story of any kind, we want you to ring in or text in. Text that number 07863 431 837. It's running along the bottom of the screen. Text us with your number and your name, and just put ghost story if it's a ghost story. Something to do with the premonitions. We're looking at premonitions. Did you ever just know that something was about to happen? Or alternatively, if somebody's passed over, if somebody's died, have you had an experience of getting some kind of message, some kind of sign back? We would love it if you've got any of those kind of stories. And also, we're going to take a look at ghost animals a little bit too. I've got a few tales to tell you about the premonition side of things. I've got 3 corkers, and one because a gentleman by the name of Yem, who lives in Gateshead, from our Jewish friends there, he tells me a story of what happened on Shiva, which is, it's a Jewish wake, essentially. And it's the story, it'll grab you. It's a cork and tail. So if you've got any, just text us on that number now. And don't forget, if you do, if you look over there, you will see a photograph. And it's not a print. It's not a cardboard little bit of stuff that you would normally get from a radio station. These are proper photographs. And we've all signed them. If you would like one, they're there. And anybody that comes on air tonight will get one of those guys as a special thank you from us for taking the time and trouble to do it. Okay? So get busy, get texting. We already have, I believe, Samantha, who's going to be talking to us. So let's put a call in.
I'll get her on the line. Give us
in her direction right now.
I've got one of them pictures on my fridge.
What, keep the kids away, is it?
Keep me away, because I keep looking, thinking, I'll put a bit of weight on there. So if I put that on my fridge, I'm not going to eat.
Yeah, I'm 2 pounds up over the last fortnight, and I've been running every morning, and it's just not shifting. Oh, I don't know what's going on. But anyway, at least we're trying to stay as healthy as we can for you guys. That's the deal. But Samantha, I gather, is one of our supporters. In about 45 minutes, we'll be splitting screens. So we're going into our Just For Supporters zone. We've got a lot of clips. We've got a lot of stuff to talk about as well tonight. So I hope you'll join up and stay with us. But hopefully the bells will be ringing anytime.
We have Samantha.
So let's bear with it.
She's here. She's already on.
Hello?
Oh, hello. It was like contacting the dead. Hi, Samantha. Good to talk to you, darling. So what's the story then?
Well, it was actually 5 years ago. And I've never forgotten it. I never will as long as I live. And it's not like me to sort of get premonitions. I mean, I think I'm a bit sensitive, but so long story short, about to go to bed, got in a bed, got my partner next to us. It's fairly early, it's about 10:30 at night, and I just get this horrible feeling which gets worse and worse, and I end up totally in hysterical crying within a couple of minutes. You know, the crying that you cannot breathe. You know, you have ugly crying. And he was going, well, what the hell's wrong with you? Like, are you poorly? Like, have you hurt yourself? Like, are you upset, like, about something I've done? And I was like, no, I couldn't explain. And this went on for about half an hour. And whilst I was sobbing my heart out, it felt as if I could hear, but this is the most strangest thing, it felt as if there was tons and tons and tons of people all screaming at once, all crying at once, like something terrible had just happened.
Right.
I was just trying to explain to him, look, I don't know where this is coming from, but I've got a sensation in my chest like utter heartbreak. Like I felt as if my heart was breaking into a million pieces, and all I could feel was like loads of people had died. So bearing in mind, like this is around 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. I'm not on my phone. He hadn't been on his phone. He managed to settle us down, woke up the next morning, and the suicide bomber had exploded himself at the Ariana Grande concert in Manchester.
Manchester. Yeah.
Oh.
Now, you see, it's that kind of thing that, and I know when people say, oh, I had a premonition about, even I go, okay. How do you explain something like that? You somehow, some way, you had a feeling that something terrible had, and the time you're talking about, 10:30 at night, because I was on air and people were ringing me up saying, I've just heard a big bang at the concert. My first call from the Manchester people was, just heard a big bang and the concert is over now, but everybody's running in all directions. I don't know what's happened. Now, that's exactly when you felt that thing at 10:30.
Yeah. It was, because it was like getting into bed because I had work the next day, so it was my usual bedtime, you know.
Yeah.
There's no reason why I would know anything about it previous.
Sure.
And I didn't know what had happened. Like it made
Did you
no
have
sense
anybody
to me
down there
why
at
I was-
Manchester? Did you know anybody
No.
that went down?
No, I didn't.
Right.
Didn't even know about the concert. Like it's not someone I follow. I'm a rocker. I like new metal. Not really listening to all of that. So I wouldn't have even known she was in the country, or do you know what I
Right.
mean? But when I was feeling all this grief and all this heartache, and like I was absolutely hysterical, by the way. I didn't know what it was about. Didn't have a clue. Just knew that I felt so sad. And I've carried it with us all this time, and I don't really tell that story to many people because, like, I have told people before, and they've just raised their eyebrows at us, like, "Are you some sort of nutcase?" You know?
Yeah, because the
Yeah,
thing
I
that
wanted to
happens
share
with
you.
the things that happen with premonitions, though, tend to be people will tell you of the premonition after the things happened, like in your case, because you didn't even know why you were feeling the way you felt. Then the next morning, hell's teeth. That must have been what that was. And I mean, the timing, 10:30, you were bang on the nose with that regard.
Yeah.
It's just the most famous caller that we've ever had on the show with premonitions, and he gave 3 premonitions. The first one was, he said, I see flags flying, I see the Queen standing at a monument, and I see dead bodies scattered all around. Now, although the Queen wasn't at the actual Senate, she was at a cenotaph, but not Enniskillen, where the IRA blew families up. But this guy got it completely right. So we were super skeptical, but he made that premonition the night before. I think it was Thursday night, and on the Sunday, Remembrance Sunday, the bomb went off. So he said it before, so then everybody at home kind of goes, oh, hang on, this guy might have something. And then he made a second prediction about somebody dying, and I can't remember the exact case, but that person did die. And then he came on about 3 months later saying a famous singer will die in his 70s. And he said the initials will be FS. So everybody kind of went, Frank Sinatra, FS, Frank Sinatra. He's up that way. And he didn't die. And so for any good premonition that you get that you can take credit for, even on the back of him being completely right about Enniskillen, all of the good work's totally forgotten as soon as you get one wrong. But the bottom line with
Yeah.
you is your partner absolutely testifies because he was in bed with you at the time, and if I'd have been in his situation, I would have thought, what the hell have I done? Have I forgotten? have I forgotten? Because anything with testicles is trouble. We know this. So it could very easily have been something that a bloke had done. But that's a corking story, Samantha. So thank you for sharing that with us. Appreciate
you're
you.
welcome.
Thanks, darling. Take it easy.
Okey-doke.
Right,
Cheers.
bye-bye.
Bye now.
So how about like, have you ever had any, this stuff, Kenny, about when somebody dies and then you get a message or you see something that just reminds you of that person? Have you ever had anything like that?
Well, it's funny you talked animals before. My little cat Chloe, when she died, I mean, a couple of months later, I can swear 100% that I heard her crying in the house. And not only that, but somebody else with us as well, and he says, "Why is there a cat crying in your house?" And I'm like, "I know, I can hear that. You've heard that as well." So two heard the cat crying in the house, even though there was no cat in the house. And it was, your pets cry, don't you? You get used to the the tone of it and what it sounds like, and how 100% that was her cry. And I'm thinking, I heard her crying. I've just heard her crying there. And again, there, again, we heard it again. And you think, and I know for a fact that was her cry. And I cannot, you cannot, and it's not just imagination, because two people heard it, not just me. Do you know what I mean? And you're like, that's her cry.
But you see, I've always said that a lot of people over the years, because one of the subjects we're talking about tonight is going to be ghost animals. So if you've had any experience of losing a pet and then having something happen that you think that was him, that was her, whatever, and I'm going to go through a whole list of some incredible paranormal related animal bits and pieces with you, just so that you can get a feeling for what actually is out there. But when you mentioned that thing about the cat, I had a couple of cats. Blossom and Truffles were their names. And when I was away doing a ghost show somewhere on planet Earth, I think it was when we were doing Scariest Places on Earth with 20th Century Fox. And it was that we were in New Orleans at the time. And I'd been away a day. And obviously, I had to put the animals into like a cattery kind of thing. And I'm away a day. Just get back to the hotel, and there's the little light on some hotels have like a little light on the phone. If somebody's called and there's a message, you pick the phone up, you press a button, and there's like a little answer phone thing. And the answer phone came from the cattery saying that Blossom had died. He'd only been in the cattery overnight and it was dead. And the other cat, Truffles, died of a broken heart within about 14 days because we had them both from when they were like tiny in your hand kind of things. And when you said, you heard, I never heard a meow. And a lot of callers had rang up and told me their stories. And it was like, I felt the cat. I was in the kitchen making me dinner and I felt the cat brush, how cats brush your legs and kind of go and arch their back up against your leg. A lot of people have said that hadn't had that. But mind you, on a couple of occasions, I did kind of feel like a cat had jumped on the bed. And you know that, I used to call it paddy paws. I don't know what everybody else.
Yeah, padding. When they're padding. Yeah.
And I'd be asleep and I'd feel this. And then I'd wake up and you'd go, silly old, whatever you call yourself. It's just because you missed something that you loved so much that you wanted that to be happening. So I would always bat it off and say that it's not really real. But if any of you guys have got stories, please tell us. I don't know have we got anybody else? Because I want to do some clips as well.
Well, we do have someone else. I don't know if you want them now, but we've got a great little video from David and Julie, the Jarraparas.
Oh, let's have it.
So we haven't played this one before, so,
Bring it on. Let's see it.
I thought
Thanks, guys. Well done again. You're brilliant. Love you.
If I turn the torch off, would that be better? Would that be easier? Would that help? turn the torch off? Would that be better? Would that be easier? Would that help? Turn the torch off. Would that be better? Would that be easier? Would that help? Turn the torch off. Would that be better? Would that be easier? Would that help?
Wow.
That was you at real speed, wasn't it, Kenny?
Oh my God! Did you see the figure?
It was
Absolutely.
amazing.
But you know, when Kenny, hand on heart, when we were there, you and I looked through some trees, not that particular moment, but you and I looked through some trees and we saw a blackness moving like a human being.
Yeah.
And it was exactly like that. So I'm
But that was a full head and a full figure, like a head in the figure, the full figure.
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. But you see, when we say, and I know how frustrating it must be for you guys, because you just see what the camera catches. Not if you imagine our eyes are a different camera lens. Kenny's got one on his shoulders. You've got a camera usually on your shoulder. But if we see something with our eyes, we don't know whether the camera's catching it at all.
Yeah.
Boom. And there was one of those black things. And Gareth Barrett, well done. Well done for finding that. I thought that's stunning. We got some more bits and pieces that we're going to share with you. Let's hoy another one on. Can we have the
they're in order of the ones I told you.
Okay, well let's do a few clips from Halloween. Now on the Halloween story, Tony was trying to find the one where the girl screamed and came running out, but couldn't quite work out where it was. But we have got 4 corking clips. Let's have the first one, Tony.
Yeah, this is, I think, Sam when he heard the knocking. So you've got to listen carefully. But
okay,
yeah.
They're all in a room on their own.
That's just me brushing my hand against this. I'm going to knock. If you can knock back, that would be brilliant. Whoa. Whoa. That was great. Can you do that again for me? I'm going to knock again. Come on, you've just done it. I'm going to knock again. Please knock back.
Talk about Orb Central as well.
Yeah, innit?
Wow.
There's another bit down there as well when Kenny walks in. Do you want to just play that straight off the back?
This is just fine.
Yeah, let's rock straight on.
Yeah.
I know.
Because this continued the knocking, I think, didn't it?
Clash of metal or something.
Clash of Metal?
Aye.
I've heard it downstairs.
Did you hear it as well?
I thought one of you kicked something.
Nah.
Yeah, it sounds like someone kicked a piece of wire on the floor.
Well,
Go-
oh, she freaks. I had to run.
Yeah, I heard that.
You can have a look here.
Yeah, I can hear that from up here. I heard it while I was down there. I heard the same sound when I was down there, but I didn't bring it up because I thought that when you were walking back, you must have kicked something off.
Nah, I stayed in the main room, so I'd be at the top of the stairs.
No, I assumed.
And she shouted and screamed, so
You can hear it. You can't hear through the floors. The
she's
floors
loving
are,
it, but she got upset, but she's loving it
yeah.
at the same time.
The floors are solid concrete. You hear. If you go through here, you hear through that. This is. I'm sure you can. There's a way. There's an exit down there, isn't there? I'm sure. No, it's all bricked up as well.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Oh, maybe. There's a void in there. Yeah, but I done the knocker. I can't believe I got something back. Cause
It's good, though.
never,
If
honestly,
you
there
got a
wasn't a
camera-
single sound in the play. It had been nothing. And I'd done that and then literally the sitting there finished. It was just a light tap.
Brilliant. And you got it on camera, though.
I'm
That's
guessing,
good.
well, I
And
was
when you
stood
would
here
do
when
it,
I done it.
It would pick it up.
I would hope it has.
Perfect. That's what you want. Stuff like that.
But apart from that, I've been looking up. I panicked. I thought I seen somebody. But I think,
So you saw someone?
yeah, but I think, you see this piece of white sticking out, and that,
You're not sure if it was...
and out the corner of your eye, it looks like a person.
Right, once your eyes get used
Once
to
your
it.
eyes get used to it and something goes over it, it just looks, the piece of white just looks like a head and that looks like a shoulder, or the side of a shoulder.
In your mind...
In your mind,
Put
and
it
you're
together.
thinking, is there someone in here with me?
Yeah.
Is that knocking you off?
Got you.
But that knock thing, that was just strange.
How would you get it? Turn up the main camera, look at your downstairs, and look at your photograph. That is good.
You'll have to have a look, see if you. It was only faint, but it was. I heard it, so
Just
nothing. That's motorbike outside.
you
I know,
keep
I
getting
know.
noises when you don't do what you know.
I know. No, it was a. It sounded. I done it here. I said, "Does anyone here?" I said, "I'm going to knock."
And you got to...
But he gave me a knock back. And I knocked.
That was definitely there.
That was 100%.
That was definite.
That was 100%.
And we're both just here. That was definite.
There's no one above us, is there?
Now they're downstairs.
The downstairs. What on earth?
That was definite.
That was 3 off the bat, the same as yours as
my
well.
God.
I can't believe you've just got that.
That's not... And you can't say that's a coincidence. 'cause-
No, honestly, there's been nothing. There's been nothing.
Footsteps.
That was me.
Oh, no. Just there. Just turn around and be quiet. Just...
I can't believe you've just had that.
That is mad. You doing on that one? I just wonder if it's... It seems to be across there.
No. It's crazy, wasn't it?
Quick, man, you Your here will be better than mine, like.
Yeah.
It's puzzling, isn't it? What makes, let's say that's dust.
It could be. I don't know whether
It's
it's
too big to be dust, but it's going up.
Yeah. How?
Probably a mixture of orbs and dust.
Yeah, it creeps you out.
Is that you?
No.
I mean, some of them have a purpose.
Fucking hell.
Are you joking?
Never.
That was ridiculous.
No, that is mad.
That was right next to it.
That was there.
Literally.
Fucking hell!
God. Oh my God.
Hang on. What the fuck?
What's
We've
going
never
on here,
really
man?
analysed this.
Sorry?
We've never really
Go on,
analysed
Come on.
these bits.
I know, yeah, because there's a big bang there, wasn't there?
It's there. I can feel it on my feet.
Can you wind that back a little bit, Tony, so we can all have a run at that again just before they respond?
Go to the room.
I'm going to spoil it by
swear.
talking. No surprise there.
That was a shock, though.
Your here will be better than mine, like.
Yeah.
That could just be the bird, you know.
It could be. I don't know whether it's a pigeon.
You're flying, like.
Yeah, it creeps you out.
Is that you?
No.
Are you joking?
No. Fucking hell.
Are you joking?
Never.
That was ridiculous.
No, that is mad.
That was right next to it.
That was there.
Literally.
Fucking hell!
That.
Hang on.
I remember that.
What the fuck?
What's going on here, man? Do it again. Come on. It's there. I can feel it on my feet. Sound like it come from in here. This is a passage.
To where?
It goes to the room that... There's a room in here. And there's a passage through the back.
Oh, look at that stuff.
What?
You go look at this. Look at
Yeah, I know. This,
We were
this
both
passage
panicking
runs
there
along the
like
back
we
of the
would do.
loading bay.
Right.
I only just realised,
You have to. Hang on, lift the camera.
Yeah.
That was ridiculous, man.
Honestly, man, that is absolutely mental, that. I cannot...
You kinda,
There is no
do
explanation
you know what I
for that.
mean? Well, here.
What on earth? That's on camera as well.
Yeah,
That's on
exactly.
camera.
Yeah.
And I felt that banging.
But it's great.
What on earth? I've
That
had
was
that on my
right
own.
next to it.
There's,
Right.
see, there's no way that could, there's only been me and you here. There's only me. I've told you. I've only told you about that. You couldn't come
Yeah.
here and start knocking. You wouldn't hear it. I know the building,
Didn't it all? That was loud, yeah.
and that was right there. And then what? Something flew off, didn't it? Or did you knock something off?
No. I was
Something
next to
just
you.
flew off. There was. I can't explain it. Of all the places, I would never say it here. Do you want me to tell you something?
Go on.
I don't. Do you bang there?
I did, just here.
I hate the cellar. The cellar's my least favourite place.
Uh-huh.
My second least favourite place is this joiner shop.
This one.
But I have no
And
reason.
yet,
I
there's
think
no reason.
there's no reason why. The only reason I can think of is because of the machinery, and it's a bit creepy when you come in,
Yeah,
and you get the outlines. And I walk,
And it gets through it and just...
It can-
you know, and that
it
was
can
mad.
pop up. Honestly,
That
man, I cannot believe I've just
Right.
heard that.
Wow.
I mean, it's good.
Amazing. Amazing. Now, you see, this is the reason. I know when we go live, Tony tends to show you a bit of Kenny's night vision camera. But when Kenny's off with his night vision camera, you should check all of that stuff out. And I know it would take a purist to want to do so, but you get little gems like that on the back of it.
On
So-
Woodhorn, there's an hour and 40 minutes of Kenny's body cam just in one whole camera suite.
Wow.
So in the Woodhorn one, if you want to go and watch that, that's all there. So
we always have like a extra bonus footage if you're up for it. But again, Kenny, the thing that I loved most about that, and for you guys at home, was you see Sam when we first started. Sam was Yeah, well, nothing's going to happen. We've been talking to the lads about it all week. We don't think that any. Oh, yeah, ghosts. Ooh.
Yeah.
And yet, something massive happened right close to him. And by that time, because you remember the first time I went back to talk to him at the beginning of the night, he said, I heard of this, I saw of that. I think I saw a figure walking across. So he was already getting stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you went back to check on him, by the time he'd been in there, probably, I'm guessing about 45, 50 minutes by then, the first thing he said when everything kicked off, and apologies for the language, this is what happens if you go on a ghost hunt, you do tend to drop the occasional blasphemy. When it happened, the first thing he said was, "Oh, do it again."
Yeah, he wanted it again. Yeah.
And but that's my experience too. If you get something, you go around and you get nothing, get nothing. Once something. Then when it happens, do it again. So he got it. And this is the reason why I've always said that if you're a fan of knocking ghosts because you've never really looked, I'd always choose a skeptic to go on a ghost hunt with, because they get the biggest shock. And that's in a place where he visits on a daily basis. Not at night time, but he can still get that frightened. And I thought it was amazing. I know we've got a whole ton.
We've got two more from Halloween, and we've got loads of comments which we need to get through. Otherwise, they'll be lost.
Right, well, let's finish the Halloween ones off, and then we'll split the screen.
Right. Well, I've got some good stories on comments, but which will be lost when I close the stream down.
Okay, well, rock on, you produce it, mate. That's your job.
We'll do the 2 clips and then maybe the questions.
Champion, let's do it.
I can see lights. I can see the candle. Don't like it in here. I'm really hot, but I think that might just be a bit of nerves. Just heard a noise out there. I don't think I'm going to be able to stay in here much longer. I feel a bit. Kenny! Kenny! Kenny!
The light's going off as well.
Yeah.
Kenny! I'm just in here. Can you come?
Right. Give me a good one. You see the light? Oh God, you're still there. What's the matter there?
There was metal, like a big bang of metal out there, and then there's that one off.
What? That one off?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I need to come over here, I'm sorry.
Right, is that one off as well?
That went off, and then there was a big bang
Right,
of
come
metal
on.
out there.
Finger, let's get you. That one off?
Yeah,
Right, will you? Alan!
but it was... I'm not, do you know what, I'm not scared, it's amazing, I'm just a bit overwhelmed.
So that the ball went off?
There was a big bang of metal out there, like literally something got chucked.
What, close?
Like in that next room.
Just there? All
In the
right.
next room, and then the ball went off too.
I just heard
They're all there for you to watch. So if you haven't seen this one, it's there for you, and it's
heard you shout.
entirety.
Oh, then I keep...
There's
I
some
don't
great stuff
realise, do you,
happening.
like
How
it was
scary it is until you see it back again.
I
There's
also
one last clip.
the thing that you've got to realize though, just about that last clip was that I was out literally on the door outside, which is like 1, 2, 3, 4 rooms away at least, because it's like a rabbit warren, isn't it, that whole place? And I saw you. I was coming down to see you because I just left Sam. I came down the stairs and I was looking for you. And just as I got to the top of the last flight of stairs to come down to you, she screamed. You just disappeared.
That's
So
right.
then by the time that I got down there, I didn't know whether you'd gone left or whether you'd
Yeah,
gone.
because you don't know where you are. Yeah.
Waiting to find out where all the lights were flashing.
Yeah.
But I thought those ladies and Sam, they were brilliant that night. Let's have the last clip anyway, too.
The last one's quite a small one. You just ask something to move,
Yeah, I heard
and
a
it
knock
does
just there.
in about
Where did you think
45
it was coming
seconds
from?
time.
Up there. That might be, could that be Sam? I don't know how the building...
no, Sam's over there. No, it's got to be there.
But that was here.
I didn't hear. You two were all in the space and there was nothing coming from up there. Yeah, really thick floors.
But we're getting noise. Whatever's here, just make a noise for us. Talk to us. Touch us. Touch the top of our heads. Touch our hair. Talk to us. Move.
That is just, yeah.
I'm hoping that's Kenny and Sam.
Right on cue.
That was just...
Did you hear, when you were down here, did you hear us talking?
Can we have another one of those, Tony, please?
The same again? Yeah.
Yeah, please.
I can't get it exact, so it's... Yeah,
Okay. Oh, no, you've just missed it.
I'm hoping that's Kenny and...
yeah, I have.
Do you hear that?
You have to... It only lets us
Yeah, I
fast
heard
forward
not
by a
just there.
minute, so we'll
Yeah,
have
I
to watch
understand.
that.
Where did you think it was
I
No, it's
again.
worth it, though.
It is.
Up there. That might be, could that be Sam? I don't know how the building...
No, Sam's over there. No, it's got to be there. It's got to be there.
But that was here.
I didn't hear. You two were all in the space and there was nothing coming from up there. Yeah, really thick floors.
But we're getting noise. Whatever's here, just make a noise for us. Talk to us. Touch us. Touch the top of our heads. Touch our hair. Talk to us. Move. I'm hoping that's Kenny and Sam.
That's just brilliant.
Did you hear?
Brilliant.
When you were down here,
Brilliant.
did you hear us talking?
Right, let's get a message or two then, too. Let's get to it. This is great seeing the Night Owls countdown again. Absolutely, Brian. Thank you. Brian Woodley. But 2 hours early for me. No, absolutely. Hey, hopefully we'll be back again. We hear Sprocket. Oh, there you go. Our old Jack Russell. That's Maz. Hi, Maz. Good to see you. We hear Sprocket, our old Jack Russell, in the flooring. Also, our dog Murphy often sits and looks at the stair where Sprocket used to sit and wags his tail. Then he walks away quite happy. Now, that's one of the things actually on my list, and it's dogs and cats can see spirit. And I'm not saying that through particular experience, just sitting in the night owl chair, listening to people calling in for all those years. Every week I would get, the dog was looking up at the corner of the room. It could see something. It looked up the top of the stairs. It could. I've heard enough stories to know that dogs and cats, whatever their extra senses are, can pick up a lot more audibly and physically, it seems, than we can. Oh, blimey, here we go. There's Anne-Marie with a glass full of hard stuff. We have a young lab. He went out for a wee at about 4 a.m. and I saw a dark thing we now call the garden ghost running after him across the garden. Nothing there. Next evening, my hubby was watching him through the window on the lawn. A dark shadow came from under the trees toward him and stayed by him, then went off and vanished. Nit had good viability lately as we live remotely, but was when we had a full moon a couple of weeks back. I'll try and get it on video. It can move fast. And again, there will be plenty of people that will say, well, there's no such thing. There's none of those things exist. The darkness that Kenny and I see moving on a regular basis is real, and it is out there. And we're not sure what it is, who it is, but to be able to capture it like that would be great. Oh, yes, Claire, looking well. We lost our cat, Gracie, during the lockdown. We had to put her to sleep. A couple of days later, I felt her jumping onto my bed. I looked, but she wasn't there. I feel like I've seen and heard her a few times since. Now, Claire, in fairness, I always say discount 95% of everything that happens because there will be a good reason. And I put exactly what you're experiencing down personally to me missing a cat that I loved. I wanted the cat to be there doing that patty paw thing, and she wasn't. So I was lying there thinking, oh, this is normally the time the cat would jump on the bed. So I put that as, because minds are clever things. If they really want to see something, I believe a mind is utterly capable of showing you that. However, we've got to look for the things that under no, you know for sure, Claire, that was your cat. You feel it was your cat. It was your cat. Absolutely believe it. I'm not knocking what you're saying. I'm just saying that I do believe that in some cases, if you want to see something badly enough and you're thinking about it a lot, that you can do that. You can do that too.
Go on.
Oh, it's Andy Cap. I've been brought up with Andy Cap. Living in, my dad always bought a Daily Mirror, you see, because we were Labour. Anyway, living in an army veteran block, had a cup move on a table. It also did it on command. Was not a believer till then. It really wanted us to know it was there. Wish I'd taken a video, but was just stunned when it first happened. My friend saw it too, and I told him, you don't have to tell me anything. I saw it happening. After that, I was a full believer of the afterlife. Andy, thank you for that. And you know, when you're out with your mates, if you told them that story, they'd call you all the names, because I've had all the names, because I used to be the guy calling people all the names. So when I came out after saying something, I got all the names too. And yet, it's proof of one thing. It's got something momentous has to happen to you before most people will believe. And I do think that that's absolutely true. But well done, Andy. Love Night Owls, an old podcast. Wanted to tell Alan, I once fell off Blanky Mill cliff.
Planky Mill, he's corrected it.
Yeah,
Planky Mill.
Planky Mill. I prefer Blanky Mill. Or Planky Mill too. I know Planky Mill. I was maybe 8-year-old. I'm 45 now. As I fell off the cliff, everything slowed down and I could see myself falling. Luckily, I survived without serious injury. You could have died. Always wonder about seeing myself falling. From a long-time listener. Lee, let me tell you what I think it is. Because genuinely, I've only ever done this once. There's a thing called astral projection. 99 times out of 100, I don't believe it. 99 times out of 100. One night, I saw myself asleep in my bed, and I was above my bed on the ceiling. There's no other word for it. I was looking down. There's me in bed, snoring, rotating, scratching what you shouldn't. All the things that you do in bed, I could see myself. And I thought in my head, hell's teeth, I'm astrally projecting. I'm astrally traveling. Now, a lot of people had said you can travel anywhere in the world if you like. You can go through walls, through doors. You've got immense power. And I was thinking, which is the way to Pamela Anderson's bedroom? However, and can you really travel to Los Angeles from the West End of Newcastle? But I was up there and I saw myself clearly. And I started to move, tried to actually travel. Then I bottled it. And I was back in my body looking up at the ceiling again. Now, that absolutely happened. That was not a dream. That happened. I was aware of it, and I was out of my body. Now, then I mentioned this on air, and loads of people ring in and they say, well, hang on, I've astrally travelled. And obviously, we put the number on the bottom of the screen. Tony, if you could do that again, that would be great. If anybody's astrally travelled, I'd love to hear your stories too. This guy came on and said, I have travelled all over the world. I've seen things and I've never had to pay. I've always travelled astrally. I've been to Greece. I've been to Monaco. I've been to the area. And I said, if that's true, that's amazing. And I said, but on my main office here at the radio station, I bought a street name poster. You know, you can buy street names and you put them on your wall in your bedroom. I had one. I don't know. You probably had a Newcastle United or Strawberry Place. You'd buy a street name like Regent Street or whatever. I bought one while I was in London and I'd put it on my wall in the studio office. And I said, if you can astrally travel down to the studio and tell me the name of the street that's on my wall. And he said, no problem. I'll do that tonight. So then he disappeared. Now, you were only allowed to ring one call per person per week so that the audience, the listenership, got it fresh. No disrespect to anybody, but rather than listen to the same caller every night, it's great to give everybody a chance. So that's what I did. That was one of my rules. And a week later, he came back on. He says, I think I can solve your problem, Alan. I said, fine. What's the name of the street? And he said, it's Oxford Street. I said, no, it's not. He said, oh, I'm sure. Well, I traveled there. Over the next 3 or 4 weeks, it was Regent Street, it was Oxford, Oxford Circus, it was Piccadilly, it was... And what it really was, I'm a huge fan of all things to do with the Beatles, not just musically, philosophically, and it's very deep, me and the Beatles. We go back a long way. I had watched this documentary where the Beatles had visited the hippest street in the 1960s to buy some of their clothes for the Magical Mystery Tour they were going on. It was Carnaby Street. Yeah. And that was the name of the thing that I bought because of the Beatles, and he never got it. So no matter how assertive and confident people are about, oh, I've definitely done it, if he's had lovely dreams about being in Greece, that's fine. I'm not knocking anybody, but I need it to be that 5% that it can't be anything else but real. So if you've got any of those stories, text us a telephone number and we'll get you on. Now, have we got more messages or is it screen?
No, that's it for now.
So we're going to split the screen, everybody. We would love you to stay with us if you are watching at the present moment. We do a ghost hunt every week, normally. We've been asked to do a second talky thing, like we got loads more clips and a lot of stories to talk about in the next half. If you'd like to join us, Tony, how do they do it, man?
Yeah, I've just put a link in the chat. So if you're on Facebook, just look in the chat and click that link. Become a supporter. Same with YouTube. Just click the link, join the channel, and voila, we'll be there.
And if you do join the channel, you will get over a year's worth of ghost hunts and all the extra bits and a thing called the blah that we and the supporters have every Tuesday night at about 7:30. We had one before we started this particular broadcast. So come and join us. We'd love to have you on board. We love your company. We need your help to grow this as bigly as we possibly can. It would be great. So come and join us on the other side. Meanwhile, we got all kinds for you. But next, we're taking a look, I think, at a few things that the White Lion, which is, again, something where I mentioned earlier that somebody got the hell of a shock. We'll have a look at that clip in a second. But for those of you that we say goodbye to here, hope you've enjoyed what you've had tonight. And we hope that we'll see you again somewhere down the lane. Take care. Have a lovely evening and enjoy the World Cup at present. Anyway, there you go. Night, night.